Good evening, and thanks for joining us here on Speed Racing Network. I'm Greg Olenek, joined by Pete Rusick. As always, repeat 1975 there on Twitter. Check him out on Twitch as well. It's week 15, Pete. We're here in our neck of the woods. Charlotte Motor Speedway ran at Texas last week. Got ourselves a playoff lucky dog. That was a wild race, and Jeremy Little being that 17th driver in the playoffs. So kind of a similar track here tonight, similar configuration here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's going to promote some really good racing here tonight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Everybody here in the Queen City doing a phenomenal job so far. The practice has gone really, really great. Not a whole lot of issues. I believe tonight so far there are about 22 to 25 guys that we're going to see live on track. Going to do their best to tackle Charlotte Motor Speedway and come away with a W early in the playoffs.
Yeah,
How you doing tonight, Greg?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm excited. Had a few days off. Got everything done early for this week. So you know how it is. You get to relax a little bit, take your mind off everything. Kind of like our drivers probably have after an intense first race here in the first round. So this is going to be race number 2 of 3. The elimination race next week going to be at Michigan. But we got to get through 130 laps here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and it's going to be a good one. Like I said earlier, we got ourselves the 17th driver in the playoffs here, so kind of a crowded field here with a tie already on the field, putting 16 in. So now the 17th with Jeremy Little with that playoff lucky dog badge right to his name to the right there, meaning he's in it now, 15 points back of the cut line. Matthew Greathouse, Josh Siegfried, and Scott Kalal all tied on that cut line as well. Kind of a wild field here we're seeing after that first race, but Reese Schaefer taking over that number 1 spot, Pete.
Yeah, Reese Schaefer, man, last week's race was absolutely phenomenal for him, and I'm glad that he was able to go ahead and have that great race. Gained a whole lot of points, solidified himself as a top runner right along with Joseph Causey, the 5, and Timothy Latham, of course. Seth Berger strong all season, and man, I felt really bad about the outcome for Ed Shearer. But man, tonight's a new race, 1.5 miles, Charlotte Motor Speedway, like you said, about 2 to 2.5 hours from each of us. Excited for tonight's race under the lights.
Yeah, I always love coming to this racetrack. It was really good. A great time actually this year. Got to see, how many times do you see a car flip? We saw Busher go through the infield, take a little turn through there, and man, that was a long race. Luckily, Pete, I don't think we're going to be here for 6 or 7 hours here tonight. No. So yeah, hopefully you didn't bring too many energy drinks with you here. But let's go ahead and check out the other championship that's actually taking place as well. SRN always putting on a Tier 2 championship for those drivers that did not qualify for the playoffs here. So Devin Zimmerman is the top dog after last week at Texas. Zach Deuscher there in second, Bobby Anderson in third, Byron McDonald and Justin Smith tied for fourth with Doc Holliday in that final and 6th position. The top 3 are going to get paid out though, Pete. $50 going to first, second going to get $30, and third going to get $20. And I believe this is all due to Silverback Tax Solutions. So thanks to them for putting this prize money up to these guys.
Yeah, Devin Zimmerman took some time off, came back swinging, and as you can see, doing phenomenally well in the points so far.
Well, Pete, I already said that's not the only championship we have.
Yeah.
We have another one, by the way, as well. The team championship going on as well here in Season 3. There you see the top 2 seeds, Tank Racing, Gear Up Motorsports getting a bye this round, I should say. We're already done with Texas here in race number 2 at Charlotte. Rat Pack Racing versus Ohio Sim Racing. And Phoenix Virtual Racing going up against Bobby Anderson Racing. Pete, this is your first season here in SRN. What do you think of this team championship format?
I'm actually really liking it. I've never seen anything like it. And, for SRN to create something like this, to add even more, competition to an already stacked on-track field, man, it's absolutely, I'm really liking it.
Well, what do you say we go ahead and take a look at that 3-6 matchup a little bit closer, and that's Phoenix Virtual Racing up against Bar here, and this is a pretty tight matchup, an exciting one after the first race. Phoenix Virtual up by 21 points, 101 to 80, and taking a closer look there. Matthew Greathouse with that 5th place finish last week, bringing home 37 points for his team, and Jeremy Little with that lucky dog effort, coming home in 8th place, putting 33 points on the board, and Siegfried almost rounding out a trifecta in the top 10. He came home in 11th last week, putting 31 points on the board. A great night for a team that averaged 88.2 points per race this regular season, Pete.
Yeah, like a fire from the ashes, the Phoenix arose. I think Phoenix Virtual has got a pretty good shot at this, Greg.
Well, I don't think Barr is out by any means either. Zach Deutscher has something to race for in that Tier 2 championship. Come home in 13th last week. Bobby Anderson's always around up towards the front. He knows how to get it done. They have something to race for here at Bobby Anderson Racing. He's going to put it out there. He came home 15th. And Byron McDonald with an 18th place finish still put good points up on the board, above their average on the season as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at that 4-5 matchup as well between Rat Pack Racing and Ohio Sim Racing. A little bit of a bigger gap here between these two teams, mainly because Lane Hosler all by himself putting 41 points up for Ohio Sim Racing. So Rat Pack, I mean, OSR does have another driver in Steve Whitmore here this week, but I don't believe Taylor Locklear is out there in the field. So I think it's going to be 2 versus 3 as well, with Saucy and Blair Holloman. All 3 of these drivers, Jordan Sailors as well, all in the playoffs. So it's going to be a tough feat for Ohio Sim Racing to come away with this one.
Yeah, you can't compare the points of just one driver, maybe even 2, when you've got 3 or 2 if it is actually 2 against 1 tonight. So Rat Pack may actually be able to move on, but Ohio Sim's really got to hope that Rat Pack has a horrible night. Maybe a couple of drivers have to DNF or something like that. But I don't see Ohio Sim moving on.
Yeah, it's just a shame, too. You see the team averages down there. Rat Pack averaging 80.2, and then OSR averaging 79.4. It could have been a really tight battle. Still has the possibility to be, not counting out Steve Whitmore or Lane Hosler just yet. And I'm going to get that name right, Lane Hosler. Hosler, you told me, Pete. All right, So let's go ahead and check out the sponsors like we always do here on Speed Racing Network. Silverback Tax Solutions coming on board to take on the green flag here tonight. Go ahead and check them out if you have any issues with the IRS. Go ahead and check out Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing while you're at it. Get that car looking good this summer. Get it exactly what it needs with a detail kit from Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing. And as always, Butt Kicker going to be in charge of the Hard Charger Award, too. We're going to get to them in just a second. And TJ's Team Foundation at morethan-a-cape.org coming on to sponsor the winning moment. Some great sponsors over here at SRNP. But let's go ahead and check out Butt Kicker while we're at it. This is what these guys are racing for, and we're getting down to the end of this race. Only 6 weeks left. They're up for this Butt Kicker Hard Charger. They're going to get this Butt Kicker Gamer 2. It's a great piece of equipment, ain't it, Pete?
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, very, very early in the season at Daytona, whoever gets this, I've got the mount to get to their rig. If it doesn't automatically come with one, all I need to know is where to ship it. But Greg, there's no better way to immerse yourself in any kind of race or any other sim or game than with one of these butt kickers.
He said it too. It's on tape. Like, it's still on YouTube. You can use it against him if he denies it. But no, Pete, we'll go ahead and hook you up with that piece of equipment as well. It's a lot of fun, and I really do appreciate Butt Kicker for coming on board and believing us in SRN over here. So let's go ahead and check out those standings. Why don't we? Bobby Anderson at the top, closely followed by Blair Holloman. They're out of Rat Pack Racing. Lane Hosler, Josh Siegfried, and Brad Herman all rounding out the top 5 here. So really tight race here between Bobby Anderson and Blair Holloman. Looking like Bobby might take his normal approach and start in the back of this one. Looking like Blair might be back there too, back in 18th.
Yeah, I mean, these two, separated by less than one position. One position over the entire series so far, this entire season so far. Greg, you can't even count that. I mean, it's 9th and 10th, 8th and 9th. I mean, that's just how close it is over how many weeks are we in now, going towards going further and further into the playoffs.
14 weeks in the books.
14 weeks. Yeah, and separated by one move on track. How about that?
It's been a fun little race to watch this unfold this year. Sean came up with the idea to make it a Hard Charger Award, and it's been really cool to follow these standings so far. So Bobby Anderson's going to look to hold on to that after this week. So let's go ahead and move on now to TJ's team over at morethanAcape.org. Pete, we can't speak about it enough. This foundation goes a long way in helping out families in need.
Yeah, they do a phenomenally long way. I just put the link to TJ's team or Travis Anderson's team out there in chat. www.morethanAcape.org. Greg, this foundation does a lot through mostly word of mouth, an occasional golf charity or something like that. But it's all about children's pediatric cancer and pediatric cancer research. Every bit that can be donated goes directly to the families, so they don't have to worry about their car, their house, their food, a place to stay or anything like that. It's all taken care of through charities like this, and we absolutely appreciate them. Go on over, donate if you can, read up on TJ's story, and let me know what you think.
Yeah, it's really easy. Like you said, go to morethanAcape.org. Everything you need to know is right there. Really user-friendly website and easy to donate if you're feeling like you want to do just that. So what do you say, Pete? We go ahead, get ready to head on out there to the track. Looks like they have finished qualifying. So here we are in beautiful Concord, North Carolina, just north of the Queen City of Charlotte, and it is a great evening to go racing here. Kicking off week number 15, Pete, in the playoffs.
Yeah, it looks like Seth Berger, once we get to the grid, he's going to be able to go ahead and grab that pole with a pretty bad fast time. And man, these lights are about to shine all over these beautiful schemes.
Yeah, there you said it. Seth Berger coming away. He just can't get away from that number one sign on the track. He's won 3 races. He won all 3 of them last week. Took the All-Star race, and then the 2 races he was registered in with the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series last week, and picking up right where he left off on the pole of this one. A time of 30.275. And then Jordan Saylor is with a great qualifying effort, too. Going to be outside row number 1. Josh Siegfried, Ed Shearer, row number 2, with Brian McAvoy and Lane Hostler in row 3.
About Devin Zimmerman in P number 7 in that number 33, just 7/100ths off the pole. That's how close it is between 1st and 7th. Reese Schaefer's going to be going to go ahead and join him there on row number 4. Michael Politis and Timothy Latham for row number 5. Justin Smith and Emerson Ardon for row 6.
Yeah, so that's a look at your top 12 here tonight. Looking like they are on the formation lap, and there you see the Flood Brothers Ford, Chevrolet, Camaro, Mustang is out on the front of this thing, and he is going to be looking to pick up right where he left off. Like I said, make it 4 wins in a row, which would be pretty incredible, especially this late in the season. So, Pete, who are you thinking about taking here tonight?
You know what? I'm going to actually go with Michael Politis in that number 6. I think he's got a pretty good shot to go ahead and get it done here in the Queen City.
Okay, I like that pick. Maybe get his first win here this season. I'm going to go ahead and maybe look a little bit further up towards the front. I'm going to take this guy right here tonight. I'm going to go Ed Shearer gets the dub in that number 97 Ford Mustang. So let's go ahead back out front. I believe we're about to see this pace car go on down pit road and leave the field in the hands of Seth Berger. Berger Nation already letting them know they got his support here tonight. There you see it. The pace car goes off, and the field is in the hands of Seth Berger. There you see it. The admins here tonight, Danny Dow and Aaron Gerwitz. What do you say we get this thing kicked off here tonight, Pete?
Absolutely. Green flag. Barney with the flag all over. There's a wreck right behind.
And Emerson Ardon also involved in this one, and just like that,
I don't know if that was a first gear restart and they completely spun him or what happened right there, but very, very unfortunate. You see the pace car coming out. It's going to go ahead and collect the field. But wow, what a big change of events. I mean, go from an entire hope that your night is going to be issue free, and before you even get into turn 1, we're talking about a couple with some pretty serious damage.
Yeah, it looks like Jordan Saylors might have spun the tires there or something, which checked up the whole outside lane.
Wow.
Let's go ahead and look at this again from up here in the blimp. I don't know what happened. It looked like he might have missed a gear or something, but you just saw the gap that the 24 put on him. The 97 just gets right into the bumper of the 55 and kind of shoves him up into the wall. And quick caution here early on. Curious to see how this one will be ruled, but some damage for some playoff contenders here very early on, just on lap number 2 of 130.
It's just speculation, of course, but the last time I talked to somebody that happened to, they were in 4th gear on the pace lap, maybe trying to save a little bit of fuel, and coming through 3 and 4, they forgot that they had the downshift, got all the way down to 1, plowed the gas, on the start, ended up spinning them, and it was kind of the same, very, very similar to what I saw there. So I don't know if that's exactly what happened, but that's kind of what it looked like to me.
Well, you can see the sparks coming off the 97 right here, and that just shows you he caught significant damage from that one. So he's going to probably spend a little time here on pit road. Looks like he's got some right front suspension damage too, so that's going to be a lengthy pit stop and a big hit to Ed Shearer here early, and not what he needs. He is not by any means safe in this race. You see him there tied for 5th, 22 points to the good of the cut line. This could really hurt that effort even more and really put him on the hot seat for next week at Michigan.
I'm just really glad that I didn't pick him tonight. This one is on you, sir. But, very, very unfortunate back-to-back weeks where I'm sure he's probably telling himself the racing gods are not in his favor. He had a similar week last week. He had some issues at a 6-hour race that him and some teammates ran at Watkins Glen just a couple short days ago. So, very, very unfortunate start for the 97.
Well, back up front here, I believe we might see those pace car lights go off this time with no lap cars at the beginning of that caution. Usually shaves off a lap here under yellow, because I'm excited to get this thing underway. I want to see what these boys got here tonight. And unfortunately, Pete, you picked Ed Shearer, and he kind of ruined his night here early on. No, I'm just kidding. But, yeah, I think we might have to stop picking cars here after a while. It seems like whoever we're picking here lately, whether it's you, me, Curtis, or Brandon, something happens to one of these guys.
Well, Mike Polite is the guy that I picked. He started in 9th, right now sitting in 8th. So he was able to make up one spot. It's just very unfortunate in the circumstances. But, Greg, we're going to do it again. The pace lights are out. 24 and that 60 gonna face off one more time. This time hopefully they can keep it green and barrel off through 1 and 2, and we'll see a lot of great side by side into single file racing by the time they get to 3 and off of 4.
Well, you mentioned drivers that were picking up spots. Look at this. How did Bobby Anderson pick up 7 spots already here? And we've only run 1 lap of green, so good effort by Bobby so far, as all those guys that went down pit road are now behind him. He's going to be that first car that did not pit. Joseph Causey just behind him, so some guys coming down a little bit early here to get some fresh tires. Not all these guys were involved in that last incident. So let's go ahead, head back up front where we are about to see this pace car peel off back down pit road. We're going to see Seth Berger, Josh Siegfried, Jordan Sailors, Brian McAvoy, and Lane Hostler get this thing underway. All those drivers sitting in the top 5.
Absolutely. 24 about to pound that throttle pedal. Here we go. Green flag is up. Barney's waving at 24 hard on the throttle. He is a control car. Gets an amazing jump as it comes across the start stripe.
He smoked him. Look at that gap. He has put about a good half of a second on Jordan Sailors there heading into turn number 1. So Seth Berger going to like that, and that's going to put the pressure on that 55 as he clears Josh Siegfried for second. And now looks like Devin Zimmerman already up to 4th. He's up 3 positions from where he started. So that 33 looking fast here tonight as well.
Yeah, now up, like you said, up to P4. Brian McAvoy right behind him, right where he started. Behind him, Reese Schaefer, the guy sitting atop the points, up 2 spots. And just as we're talking about the guys outside the top 5, Jordan Sailors just a moment ago placed the fastest lap, and now displaced by Joseph Causey back in P12 with a 31.7.
So you're saying the 55 is looking pretty fast here early on in this run. So it's good news if you're Jordan Sailors, showing that short run speed here tonight and right on the bumper of this 24 that has been very, very hot here lately. in SRN, so it's got to be a good feeling for Jordan Saylor. So he's going to need a good run tonight. One of those drivers that's sitting below the cut line or just on it. Can't remember. I believe he actually might be to the good, but tied in that 10th place battle. So Jordan needing a few more points and doing just that so far up here in second.
It's going to be really, really interesting to see or hear what these guys say about their tire wear a little bit later on. Some were saying with the damage model update, these cars are getting tighter rather than looser very, very soon. And they're spending a whole lot of time out of the throttle. I broadcasted a race from Michigan International Raceway last night, 80 laps. Those guys were able to go 40 laps on gas. The tires were not able to make it. I don't know if they're going to see that here at the Queen City. Charlotte Motor Speedway, completely different, 1.5 miles versus 1 mile. It's typical, somewhat similar kind of banking. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Working lap 9 of 130.
Look at Joseph Causey up a lot of spots from where he began this run. He started this run in 16th. He's up to 10th already and right on the bumper of Justin Smith. He had to give it up there as he lost the speed out of 2. He's going to try and get back up to the 28 and try to make the move up to 9th position. But right now, a good run back up to the front here for the 88. So these guys are not going to want to be seeing that here, Pete. Early on, the 88 showing some really good speed. So Reese Schaefer now under attack from his Tank Racing teammate. Actually looking like Reese Schaefer going on by his Tank Racing teammate. Move Reese up to 3rd now as he's going right on by Josh Siegfried as well. So Reese up 5 positions from where he started tonight's race in 8th. That 17 looks bad fast here tonight. And Tank Racing in general looks bad fast here tonight.
Yeah, 33 tried to follow him through, just couldn't quite get it done, didn't have the momentum. So now he's stuck behind this number 60 and of Josh Siegfried. Going to have to see if he can work himself by, but it looks like the 60's pretty strong coming off the corner, going down the backstretch, heading into 3.
Yeah, I think he got loose or something and bottomed out. I'm not sure, but 60 lost a lot of speed. You can see just how that affects you going down that backstretch here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Reese and Devin almost went by. Devin was not able to complete the pass. So here we see this battle for first still very much contested between the 55 and the 24. Jordan wanting to get that clean air. It's going to be really hard to pass this 24 Flood Brothers Mustang here up front.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though this track, as you can see, going down the backstretch is 3 lanes wide, there's pretty much just a single groove going through the corner. The 55 on the bottom, 24 letting his car wash up to the outside wall. That way he's not putting too much wheel into it. He's not letting the tires scrub too much speed. Also saving just a little bit of tire. He might need them a little bit later on. 55 just completely hounding this 24.
Yeah, so curious to know if he's really pushing it behind this 24 or saving his stuff. Jordan has done really well in improving this season, in my own opinion, and he has come on strong here of lately. Did what he needed to do to get in the playoffs. Looked good at Texas last week. Looks good here tonight at Charlotte as well, and I'm fixing to believe he's going to be looking good when we get to Michigan next week as well. So this 55 looking very strong, but now has a very, very strong Boss Security 17 just on his bumper.
Yeah, 17, he is strong every single week on the long run. We've had one caution right at the get-go. So far, they've been able to complete about another 10 laps back under green. 24 continues to lead, 55 right behind him. 17 pulling right back there. And I don't see him going anywhere. We talked about the 88. Joseph Causey right now back in P number 9, up 7 spots from where he started, and he continues to pick him away.
Yeah, now staring down the 79 of Brian McAvoy, his next victim. But look at these guys. They're all in a line here up towards the front. I mean, you got Joseph Causey right here, and then Brian McAvoy just there in front of him. Lane Hostler in the 61 here in 7th. Then Latham making the move to the inside of the 33, very close here as they come to the start-finish line. So that is your battle for 5th there. And then you got Josh Siegfried just in front of him here in the 4th place. So almost racing like a super speedway here early on. This top pack very close to one another, only separated by 1.3 seconds.
Yeah, I got a quick chance to talk to driver of the 5, Timothy Latham, and I said, man, hey, I'm thinking about picking you for tonight. What you think? He says, Pete, I really don't know. Not very good. I don't feel great about this track. And so far, he's as you said, up 5 spots, sitting in P5, and he's reeled these leaders in. But we'll just have to watch whether it's a short run speed, long run speed, or if he's able to make up the difference and continue to pick people off as the laps continue.
What did I tell you, Pete? What did I tell you why he said that?
Yeah, I get you.
He didn't want you to pick him, and look at him. He's doing great up here, up in 5th, so looking good in that 5 machine. So Kazi picks up another position as he completes the pass just like that on the 79. So the 88 picks up 8 positions from where he started and is currently running in 8th. So it's all about the 8s right now, but I don't think he's going to be happy with that so far, Pete.
Yeah, just like real NASCAR drivers, these guys are pretty superstitious as well. And we've all heard time and time again about the broadcaster or commentator curse. They don't want to be picked. Last week I picked the 97, and he said he had the worst race in his SRN career. Tonight you picked him, and he gets wrecked out on lap number 1. That's why I said I'm glad I didn't pick him, and I think that might be why the 5 did not want me to take him, as he just now tried to move to the inside of the 60, but thought better of it, stuck right back behind, still continuing on at P5.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about with me picking who or whatever you said there. I didn't pick anybody here tonight, but so far Timothy Latham looking really good as he's just behind the 60 of Josh Siegfried. Got to say, I'm really impressed with the driver of the 60 as well. He's been racing up here with these top dogs here of late, and he's been doing a great job in that number 60 out of Phoenix Virtual Racing. So kudos to Siegfried for really improving as well this season. He's a contender for this Cup Series title this year.
Oh, absolutely. Siegfried having a phenomenal race. He's down 2 spots, but he's still solidly inside the top 5. He's got big battle right now between the 5 and the 17, right in front of that 60. And I don't know who's going to be able to take this line first. 17 up high, 5 down low. See how much momentum the 17 can carry.
Yeah, the preferred line's going to be down on the bottom here at Charlotte. And, yeah, you could carry some speed on the backstretch when you run that high line, but you're going to really make up time running that blue line there on the bottom. So Latham with the preferred lane going to make the pass on the 17 and move him up to 3rd. So he's wanting to get in on the mix-up here and maybe try to make a pass for the lead. But so far, Seth Berger not wanting to share at all. He's led every single lap so far tonight, all 22 here this evening. So looking good in that Flood Brothers number 24 for Tank Racing. And, man, if he makes this 4 in a row, that's got to be some sort of record. I'm not able to confirm that right off the top of my head, but that would be very impressive in any regards here on the sim. That's not easy to win 4 races in anything.
No, not at all. But I tell you what, the guy that's right behind him in this Flavor Bomb 55, he's the guy that had a little bit of an issue on the initial start, spun him on that outside line. But here he is, able to stay right with the 24. He's now got the 5 about ready to breathe down his tailpipe. We'll have to see if he can hold off that 5 of Timothy Latham. But these top 2 pretty consistent. I think they might be pretty comfortable running 1-2. It's one thing to pass 1 car, but it's another to pass 2. We'll see if the 5 is able to get on up there and challenge the 24.
Lane Hostler, Joseph Ghazi, and Josh Siegfried in a big-time battle here for the 5th position. Looks like Ghazi trying to wait patiently to see if Hostler could complete the pass, but that's just slowing the 88 down, really. But he can't go anywhere, Pete, so he's kind of just got to wait here, tuck in behind the 61 and see if he can complete the pass on the 60. So far, Siegfried holding strong through 3 and 4.
Yeah, the 60, 61, and then of course the 88 that of Causey that we talk about every single week. Very, very fast, able to maintain the equipment that he's got. I don't think the 61 and 60 are done battling it out just yet. I think the 61, he's trying to get back into throttle at different points, trying to get a little bit more momentum coming off, just as you see him diving right on down, getting a little tight in the 60s dirty air. You see the 88 painting that blue line, picking up just a little bit of clean air, and he was able to get a pretty good run coming through the tri-oval.
So starting to see a little bit of separation out front. Seth Berger out to about a half a second lead over Jordan Sailors there in the 55. Latham closely tucked in behind Sailors there in third position. Then you got Reese Schaefer, Siegfried rounding out your top 5. Still contested by the 61 there on the inside of Lane Hostler, but looking like Seth is starting to set sail. Look at that time he's picking up through these turns.
61 was able to get on by the 60. The 88 was not able to follow. So move that 61 up a couple more. Now sitting inside the top 5 after starting 6th. So he fell back just a little bit, but it looks like his tire wear might be just a little bit better than some others that were great on the short run, such as maybe the 17. And now the 17 is back to P4. While he's still up 4 spots, we just saw him, trying to duel it out for second. It seems like just a couple short laps ago, but here we are running lap 29 or 28 rather.
Well, speaking of second, Timothy Latham now up to second. He's going to see if he can make a run back up to Berger, who is now 0.8 of a second in front of these two battling for second. So it's going to be tough now that Berger's kind of separated himself. So you don't really have that draft down the front stretch as well as the back stretch too. And really just got to be patient here. Play the patient game now if you're Latham and Sailors and Schaefer, and kind of see if you can slowly reel Seth back in over time. Curious to see. I think they can make this a 2-stop race if they make pit stops on lap 45 and 90. So we're about 15 laps away, I think, from seeing pit stops still. So if Seth Berger is really saved as much as I think he's saved with those tires, he can really pull out to a lengthy lead if this thing stays green all the way through pit stops.
I tell you what, the 5 is starting to get a little bit of distance on Jordan Sailors in that 55, falling back little by little. And as I watch the timing between Seth Berger and Latham, it is slowly crawling its way down. It was a full second, almost 1.1, now down to high 8s, low 9s. So that 5, he might be coming.
Yeah, I don't think Timothy Latham is going to go anywhere. 2-time winner on the season already. He's wanting to get in that 3-win club here in the Cup Series as well, and he wants that championship this season too. He knows that Joseph Causey and Seth Berger are going to be really the stiffest competition, as well as Ed Shearer. Those are going to be the guys that you're going to be gunning for here. Everybody else knows who the top dogs are here. Latham wants to get his name in on that mix as well. Looking like he's doing just that with a good run here. And you're right, he is kind of maintaining that gap between him and Seth Berger, but not closing on it too much here. And Jordan Sailors not falling too much behind him now either, kind of settling in there about 0.3 of a second back of the 5. So Hostler, though, up to 4th quickly, and here he is trying to make a pass on 3rd place Jordan Sailors. So Hostler looking like he has a very good hot rod here late in this run.
I'll tell you what, he's been kind of picking them up and laying them down. He was able to get on by a couple cars, actually just past the 17 of Reese Schaefer, and we were talking about how fast that 17 Boss Securities car looked earlier. Now he's going to try to dive underneath the 55, really sailed it in there, and I don't see him getting loose. Look at him get back on the throttle and complete the pass coming off 4. Oh, man, that thing is hooked up.
Yeah, it is. This 61 is on its way to the front. I think this is going to be the guy that makes a run at that 24 of Seth Berger, because he's going to eat up this 5 at Latham here in a second or two, because that 61 is coming. So really good sign if you're in that 61 camp here early on, that this is a very fast long run machine. So this could be a good battle between the 24 and the 61 as the night goes on. Both looking like very fast hot rods on the long run. So we'll see if he can continue his trek up towards the front, see if we got any other battles out there right now. This one between Zach Deutscher and Justin Smith a little bit further on back in this pack. Justin Smith down 5 positions from where he started tonight. Zach Deutscher up 5 positions from where he started. Zach trying to move up to P number 16 here as they really get tight off of turn number 2 there. Both running white cars at that, so go figure they're side by side.
Yeah, you see Justin Smith sitting right behind these guys, waiting to see which line is going to prevail. But I tell you what, I'm really loving the scheme on that deuce. How fitting! Usually this race at Charlotte Motor Speedway is run for Memorial Day. You have the big old festivities before the race, and that red, white, and blue too is looking pretty festive.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. If you ever get the chance to go to the Coke 600, I highly suggest you do. It's a great show, and there's a reason why it's one of the crown jewels here in NASCAR. So Joseph Causey knows that. He wants to get the dub here tonight, quickly moving up towards the front. I mean, he restarted back in 16th. He's up to 4th, up 12 positions from where he started tonight's race. So he's going to be looking up at Lane Hostler, making the move here on Timothy Latham now and seeing if he can maybe gain some time on these guys, because he's got a pretty sizable gap between him and Hostler and Latham here.
Tell you what, that 61 is absolutely trying to see if he can rattle that 5 by filling up his rear view mirror. Going into turns 1 and 2, 5 is going to come on down, paint that blue line, slam the door shut as much as he can. 61, that Ohio Sim car just going to stay right there. Let him think that he's going to try to pull inside, pull outside, and just say that 61 again. Sails it to the inside. This time gets a little tight. Going to go ahead and get back in the throttle. Still able to stick with that 5. But while all this is happening, now they've fallen from just 0.9 back to 1 point almost 2 back from Seth Berger as he continues to lead in that Flood Brothers number 24.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a good run here off of 2, it looks like, and he's going to be able to get the nose to the inside of the 5 as they go down towards turn number 3. So Hostler going to be looking to complete the pass here through 3 and 4, and Timothy Latham going to just let him go, get back down to the bottom line, and continue running out this set of tires. We should see our first round of green flag stops here in about 6 or 7 laps. So these guys are going to start trying to set themselves up for their first round of success here tonight. Big time to be had on pit road, Pete.
Yeah, I really thought when the 61 sent it in the corner, he got tight, washed up a little bit, really didn't back up his entrance. I thought for sure he was going to kind of wash up a little bit, and it would be a great chance for the 5 to try the crossover. Just didn't have the tires to do that. Looks like the 5 is starting to fall back a little bit, but that 61, he's on the prowl, 7/10 behind Seth Berger.
Yeah, so Hostler is looking very fast here tonight, trying to pull up the lap times for you so we can take a closer look at that. And let's go ahead and bring it up, and you'll see exactly how much quicker Lane Hostler has been than his competitor out here tonight. And there you see it. The last 2 laps, he's picked up nearly a half a second on the 24, and we'll see if he's able to do that again right here. Does in fact chop off another 2/10. So 61 is just going to probably get right to the bumper, and then Seth going to bring it down pit road. I bet that's what we're going to see.
Yeah, now the 61, he's got the draft of the 24. So on these straights and coming through the trioval, he can really try to get that thing lined up and see if he can get a little bit of a pull. 61 is bad fast tonight. I think if he gets in front of this 24 and can get some fresh tires as well, we might see him actually pull away to an even bigger lead than what Seth has had over the field this evening.
Compared to the cars that this 61 has been passing here lately, just seems like he is really able to get it into the turns a lot better than just about every other driver here tonight. And that's even late in the runs. Just look like he's able to really just stick it down there on the bottom, which goes a long way in making up a lot of time. In that lap alone, he's picked up about 3/10. So this 61 knows what he's got here. He's smelling blood in the water and sees that 24 getting bigger in his windshield, and we're going to probably see a pass for the lead here in the next lap or 2.
He's really been able to see just how much time he's able to gain. Just off that alone, didn't need any of the scoring and timing on the screen. You could see it visually. So that just goes to show he is gaining leaps and bounds, now down to just 4/10 behind this 24. And I think you might be right, Greg. As soon as that 61 gets up there and contends for the lead, we'll see our first round of green flag pit stops kick off, and it'd be interesting to see if it starts from the front back.
Yeah, it's not every day you get that from Pete. Rusick says, I'm right. Man, now I hope I can actually come through on that. But I think that's what we're going to see. That's what I would do personally. You've seen this guy run you down lap after lap. You know he's faster than you. Why not rattle him a little bit, not give him the satisfaction of passing you on the track? Go down pit road, get 4 fresh tires, build that gap back up, and see if you can hold on to it until that next round of green flag stops, because I think we might see this thing go green the whole way again here tonight, just the way this Cup Series has been playing out here lately. But got to give it to the 24 of Seth Berger, holding off this 61, keeping it to about 3.5 tenths of a second.
Yeah, and that gap continues to shrink and shrink and shrink. That tell you what, that 61 brought a piece. Seth Berger, he has led the entire first 45 laps. Again, if in case anybody out there just joined, we've only had one caution tonight, very, very early, literally right on the green when the race kicked off. 55 spun his tires, but since then we have been completely green. 24 has led the entire way. Lane Hostler has worked his way through the field. He fell back, and he's been able to charge forward, now gaining 4 spots from where he qualified to sit P2. He has passed the 5. He's passed the 17. Passed all kinds of great weekly contenders. Now he just has one more on his radar before he can get that point for leading a lap as well.
Yeah, so these two drivers, both fourth and fifth in the standings, so solidly inside that top 10, but shaping up to be a great battle here in this one. This is what we want, Pete. We want this thing to go green, and we want awesome battles here late in the race, late in the run actually too, because these guys have been battling for about 44 laps or so here under green flag conditions, and it's worked itself out to these two guys. They have the fastest hot rods here so far. Latham looks good as well. Causey does too. He passed a lot of cars, probably used up his stuff a little quicker than he wanted. This thing is not over by any means when you got the likes of Causey, Sailors, Zimmerman, Schaefer, all these guys sitting here in the top 10, Little, Siegfried, and McAvoy. It's going to be a good finish once we get some green tires back on these cars. So let's see what we can get. If we get some pit stops here coming up, I'm anxious to see. We've had a few already. Scott Kalal, Brad Herman, Michael Politis, Blair Holloman, and Justin Smith have all come down to make their first stops. Yet to see any of the guys out in front make their first stops, though. So who's going to be the first, Pete?
I tell you, I really think it's going to be that 24. If he can come on down and get a little bit of an edge with 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, he's going to do that. He can't allow the 61 to go down before him, because then the advantage will fall to Hostler. And to tell you what, you just rattled off a lot of names that we talk about every single week. Here comes that 61 doing exactly what we just said the 24 would not want him to do. And out there in chat, Decent House 23 Gaming echoes what we've been saying. If this race stays green, watch out for Hostler, one of the best over a long run at 1.5 mile tracks. Sounds like he knows him just as well as we do. Here he is pulling into his pits box.
Yeah, he brought a few drivers down this time, 5 to be exact. Hostler, McAvoy, Schaefer, Whitmore, and Zach Deutscher all coming down for their first stop of the night. And then look who's coming now. Seth Berger makes his first stop here.
Yeah, just as he starts to get into the actual pit box areas, the 61, he's already done. He's away. He's out on the entrance road, getting ready to get back to that blue cone to where he'll be able to blend on up. It'll be interesting to see where this 61 comes out. He's not going to have the advantage of a couple lap or maybe 3 to see just how well those Goodyear Eagles will do for him. But at the same time, he's got to be a little cautious, always a little loose on brand new tires. Caution's out.
Oh, yeah, caution is, in fact, out. Trying to see who it is out here. Zach
Deutscher, yeah.
So let's go ahead, cue up that Sparkle and Shine Wreck replay. Go ahead and see exactly what we got here.
Yeah, absolutely interested.
Looks like it's registering when he's coming out of pit road here. So it's a little bump there. It really upsets the car, and quite surprised that brought out a yellow, being that it's off the racing surface.
It might be just because it's in the lane coming out of the pits. That's the only thing I can think of.
Really odd, but let's go ahead and take a look on board just to see how aggressive that bump was. So here he is exiting the pits here. Right there. And just
wow.
Kind of bottoms out these cup cars and really just sent him spinning there. And yeah, you're right though. Since he is in that lane, that does register as like a racing area here on iRacing. That's likely why that caution came out there. So he will likely get an EOL too, but that's going to shake things up here, Pete, as we got some new leaders. Josh Siegfried listed in first place, going to come down pit road. Seth Berger, also one of those guys, just because Brian McDonald right there as well. So Zach Deutscher, there you see it getting that EOL here tonight. So that's going to cycle the lead out to what it looks like to be Timothy Latham here with the way everything worked out.
Yeah, so Timothy Latham will be able to come on down and do what he needs to do. It's kind of interesting. I'm still watching this 61 on my side, and he was just able to get around the pace car. He's just now coming through the trial. It'll be interesting to see where he settles in when it's all said and done. Right now, it's showing him a little bit further in the back.
Yeah, these things are always super confusing. So that's exactly why we're going to step aside, Pete, let everything work itself out, and we'll figure it out once we come back. Don't go anywhere.
Want to be a part of an established league on iRacing? A league that's competitive, fun, and above all fair? Look no further than Speed Racing Network. Originally known as Mid-South Madness, SRN has evolved into a league that can bring the best out in any given driver. Drivers work their way up through the ranks to hopefully one day call themselves a champion of Speed Racing Network. If you're interested in joining, don't hesitate to reach out to league admins to claim your spot today. Maybe you'll end up in the history books. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor in Speed Racing Network, feel free to head over to www.speedracingnetwork.com and reach out to an admin today. And as always, remember to go faster.
Silverback Tax Solutions specializes in dealing with IRS tax problems. If you are receiving threatening letters from the IRS, or if the IRS has placed liens or levies on your property, Silverback Tax Solutions can help you find relief. We have worked with hundreds of people to resolve their tax problems. If you're behind on filing your taxes, it's never too late to get on the right track. Silverback Tax Solutions can help with that also. Don't let another night go by where you lose sleep worrying about the IRS or your taxes. Head over to www.silverbacktx.com or call 662-996-4357 and contact an enrolled agent today. We can help you gain peace of mind and deal with those problems for you.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
All right, so seeing the pace car lights go off and look at all these wave around cars, Pete. That's always a fun part of pitting under green. You're always taking that risk. You could see that caution come out and you find yourself trapped one lap down. So a lot of those guys getting their laps back, but they're not going to be able to pit. So all these guys can have fresher tires up front. That's going to even add more salt in the wound for those guys.
Absolutely. You see the timer for Scott Kalal as that continues to count down from 10th on back, was caught one lap down. They were able to go on down pit road, grab what they needed to get, and now they're just going to go ahead and file in behind everybody else. Looks like we're not going to go back green this time. The lights atop the pace car are back on. The 5 of Timothy Latham, that was very, very fast earlier, started to fall back. He will be the control car. Seth Berger to his outside, and we saw what kind of a restart he got last time, Greg.
Yeah, so Seth Berger going to restart in second. Joseph Causey is going to cycle out to P number 3. Josh Siegfried there in 4th place, 1 spot back from where he began the night in 3rd. And then Emerson Ardon, who we saw back here involved in that first incident tonight, up to P number 6. And Byron McDonald, a top 5 effort, up 13 positions from where he started. Scott Kalal going to be back here, and I believe, what is this, P7, and then Devin Zimmerman just behind him in P number 8. Reese Schaefer 9th. Bobby Anderson going to round out the top 10. So we're still trying to figure things out, it looks like, but for the most part, we're going to have a lot of guys starting on that inside line, because when it makes you get that lap back, you have to restart behind the longest line. So that's going to be the inside lane. We're going to have a lot of cars in that inside line.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, even with the issues that Emerson Ardon had earlier out there in chat, Apollo Midnight did not give up on him. He's still out there cheering him on, and no reason not to. Pretty strong in that 57.
Yeah, and he was pretty strong last week. Pole sitter at Texas, looking good here tonight as well. Started the evening at 12th, up to P number 6. So Emerson feeling pretty froggy right now. Maybe sees a few more spots in his future. Come away with another podium here after picking up his first one in the season not too long ago. So let's go ahead, see if we can get that pace car off the track and get back under green flag conditions. What do you say, Pete?
Absolutely. All Emerson Ardon has to do is leap 5 or 6 cars to get on up there with some clean air. I think he can do it, but he's got some pretty stout competition. Green flag.
The green flag is waving again here in Charlotte. We're back underway with Latham getting a good jump over Seth Berger this time. And then Josh Siegfried so far coming away with the 3rd position, but Joseph Causey not wanting to give it up by any means. He clears him for 3rd back there.
Yeah, Causey down dirty and racy on that very bottom line. Pulls up right behind the 24. Going to stick right with him. 24 all over. I'm sorry, 88 now. Scratch that all over the back end of the 24. 24 is going to wash up. 88 is going to take advantage of that. Clear him. Move him up to P2. 14 spot. Now a very, very good candidate for that hard charger award for the evening.
Yeah, I think he's going to just about clinch that thing if Byron McDonald doesn't pick up a few more spots back there in 6th. He's in a side-by-side battle for 5th with Emerson Ardon back here. The 8 really trying to hold on that inside lane, but the 57 looking strong so far, trying to take that 5th spot away after starting that last restart in 6th. Ed Shearer just behind them, trying to figure out where to go. He's a few laps down, 15 to be exact, so still looking fast for the evening that the 97's at. He's hanging in with these leaders up here.
Yeah, the 8 car down all the way down on the apron. I'm not quite sure what he had to dodge, but able to move on.
He got turned. One of the two there.
Yeah, something happened. But that 57, I think, might have tagged the wall. Might have some right side damage, if I'm not mistaken.
Curious to see if we can go back, find out what happened there, but I don't know if I can. Darn it. Well, nonetheless, Byron McDonald falls back to 8th, but settles in back here. Reese Schaefer, though, trying to make his way back up to the front, gets by Emerson there. Now trying to look past the lap car of Ed Shearer there, who's got Josh Siegfried. That's 4th place in front of him. So not sure these guys are going to be too fond of a lap car racing them here up towards the front, but Ed has every right to be up here with these guys as long as he's showing the respect here between these playoff drivers. Ed with 15 laps down, not much to race for here, but still nonetheless making it exciting in that 97.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm kind of taking a view around that 97 through the different possible angles, and I don't see any issues whatsoever with that Napa 97. He's looking pretty clean, looking pretty fast, looking pretty racy. These guys are probably lucky he's not on the lead lap. Spent a lot of time on pit road during that first caution early on in the race. Unfortunate for him, 2nd week in a row. What is fortunate, though, is that he's got a buffer in points, but he can't lose much more, Greg.
Yeah, so back here, Byron McDonald picks up that 7th spot, goes on by his teammate Scott Kalal. He's going to bring Bobby Anderson along with him. So move both of those drivers up one spot further up towards the front. Reese Schaefer still trying to figure out when he can make the pass possibly on these two guys. Now has Josh Siegfried going to the inside of the 60, actually. He's going to try to make a move for fourth.
Oh, then I actually had to fall right back in line going into the turn. 60 hugging that blue line. I'm kind of surprised that he's able to do that. I would have thought that the 97's dirty air would have made him tight and washed him up. But then again, Greg, they're still on fairly new tires as you see the 17 diving to the inside.
Yeah, he's going to make this pass and make it quick. Clears the 60, goes right on by on the exit of 2. Moves Schaefer up into fourth. And then you got Byron McDonald back here to the inside of Emerson Ardon here. This is for 6th position. So the 8 trying to make up some spots that he lost when he possibly got a little loose through turns 1 and 2. Right drag race to the start-finish line. And Byron going to try and clear him heading into turns 1.
Yeah, 57 again coming through the trial will tag the wall with the right side. Now very, very visible damage to the right rear of that 57, just as you see. Looks like Bobby Anderson coming up his rear view.
So we'll continue to follow the quest back to the front for this 8 machine. We'll go back out to the front of this thing and see the leader, Timothy Latham, still with about a quarter of a second lead over Kazi. But Kazi is closing in slowly but surely, not letting that 5 get too far away. So be curious to see his progression through the field. We'll be curious to see another driver, this man's progression back up to the front. Lane now mired back in the 12th position after pitting from second. A great run up to second. So we'll see. He's got plenty of time still. Now officially halfway done with this race speed. We'll see if he can get it done in 1/2's time.
Tell you what, I mean, he was able to make up more spots than what he's got to make up right now. And it will absolutely be interesting to see if he can get this Ohio Sim 61 back up inside the top 3 and have a great finish. Lord knows he's absolutely deserved it.
Back up towards the front, watching Reese Schaefer still trying to move his way up to the front. Still Meyer back in fourth after a great evening in that 17, but the lead still shrinking, now down to 0.2 of a second, just really inching up to the bumper of this 5. These two have had great battles all season long and looking like it's going to shape up to be another one here tonight in Charlotte.
I tell you, the gap that we're seeing now between the 5 and the 88 is the same gap that we saw earlier between Seth Berger and the 24 and the 61. Once they got to about between 2 and 3/10, it was very, very hard to make up any more time, or at least it was hard for them. So we'll have to see if the 88 is able to make any kind of work of the 5, or if he's just got to stick right where he is. One way or another, he's got to try to find where the 5 isn't if he's going to pull up and do anything with him. Because that 5, he's taken every single groove away from the 88.
Further back on the pack, got a battle here for 10. Steve Whitmore right on the bumper of Scott Kalal. And there he is, the 61, Elaine Hostler, wanting to get in on mix 2 and maybe make a run for the top 10. His OSR teammate there in the 70. Those two having a good night tonight. Maybe trying to make a run for this team championship. Looking good so far as well. A few of these Rat Pack guys having some issues here tonight. You got Jordan Saylor, Blair Holland, both 19th and 21st. They are not having the nights that they wanted. And then trying to see who else we got here in the field. It might just be those two drivers here this evening. So could be a good night for OSR as they clear Scott Kalal. So move Whitmore up to 10th. Hostler up in the 11th position. We'll see if Hostler is able to get by his teammate and keep making that run up back towards the front. But further on up, I believe we're going to see a pass here. Maybe Josh Siegfried able to get on the 17's bumper here, maybe make a move.
Yeah, all over the back end of that 17 Mustang GT. And I tell you that this gap continues to shrink. The 60's really pulled up. 17 hasn't made too much time on the 97. 97 many laps down, but he still continues to show top-end speed with the rest of these guys here in the top 5. I'm impressed with the 97, especially after how much time he had to spend on pit road for repairs.
Yeah, he had right front suspension damage and everything. I mean, he had to spend a significant amount of time. I mean, he's 15 laps down and he's running as fast as he is. I don't know if he just went to go get a snack and spent a little extra time on pit road and didn't have that much damage or what, but looking good nonetheless. But right now, 60 also looking good. Siegfried back in 5th. Great run here tonight as he tries to continue his run here in the playoffs. So back up towards the front. Latham maintaining that gap of about 0.2 of a second back to Causey, but Seth Berger is starting to get his nose up in the mix too. He was about 0.7 of a second back not too long ago. Now only 4.5 tenths. All these guys starting to catch up to our leader here in the 5.
Yeah, so the 24, he's moving right back up where he was earlier. And how about Lane Hostler now back inside the top 10, sitting in P9 behind Brian McAvoy, right with the 18 Martin Sports car as well. If he can get up, that'll be 2 more spots. That'll put him easily inside the, or securely, I should say, inside the top 10 as he dives underneath the 18.
Yeah, that's Bobby Anderson. He's going right on by. Just look at how much quicker he is than these guys. Looks really good out here as he's right on the bumper of the 79 now. So Hostler up to 8th and staring down 7th place. Still got a pretty sizable gap of 6 seconds back of the leaders, but still picking up a lot of spots, which is going to be confidence in the bag when it comes time when it needs most. So we'll see if he's able to make up to some time, but I think he might need a caution to get that car back in contention and winning this thing. Still in contention of having a great night as he's bearing down on this 79 Gear Up Motorsports Chevrolet.
Yeah, really wrapping the bottom of the corner, and 79's just coming on down and kind of slamming that door shut, forcing the 79 up. 79 says, not this time. Completely threw it in there. Underneath him now, door to door, going through the corner, getting a little tight on the door. He's going to be able to complete that pass, move him on up, P7.
Yeah, great job of staying off him there. Almost wrecked himself off the 2, got loose with how much wheel he was putting in it. But yeah, 61 on up to 7th now. Next car in front of him going to be Emerson Ardon, who's about a second and a quarter ahead of the 61. So back out front, Seth Berger now knocking on the door of his teammate here, Joseph Causey, the 24, wanting to get that car back out front and maybe come away with the most laps led here tonight. Was definitely on a run towards that here early on, led about 45 or 46 of the first laps here this evening. But ever since that first caution, he's lost that lead and wants it back.
Yeah, he wants it back, and I tell you what, he's trying to give that 88 a little bit of a shove, see if he can't maybe get him just a little bit closer to the back end of that 5 to where the 88 can maybe try something, throw it into a corner, see if he can't catch the 5 off guards. That's not too easy to do. The Timothy Latham, very, very experienced racer in several different disciplines. Right now, though, he's got the advantage, all that clean air getting dumped on the hood of that Raise Energy 5.
Yeah, that clean air goes so far. It's just hard to describe. And then once you get back in that dirty air and it's kind of upsetting the balance of the car, it just really feels like a totally different car. So that's kind of what Seth Berger is dealing with right now, but still very much close to maybe taking over the lead of this race. Got 2 very tough cars to pass in Causey and Latham just in front of him. So we'll see if he's able to complete that pass or if he's just going to ride behind him for a little while. It took a little while for Seth to separate himself from the pack in that first run, but getting around to that point to where we did see that separation, which is why we could be seeing him right on the bumper of this 88 right now. Just got to find a spot to pass him, and I know it's his teammate, but maybe he's going to work out some kind of deal with him.
It's kind of weird as the 24 has caught the 88 and those two kind of working together. They've actually fallen from like 1.5, 1.8 back to over 0.3 back. So those guys nose to tail with the 88 maybe blocking the 24 as well, even though they're teammates. They're losing time to Timothy Latham, our leader.
Yeah, and you see just how loose that 88 got right there on the exit of turn number 4, and keeps it going though. Really didn't lose any speed. Any other guy would probably got out of the gas a lot more than he did just there, but still, I guess loose is fast in the 88 camp. But all 3 of these guys looking bad fast here as they're starting to separate themselves from the rest of the pack. Got about a 1.5 lead over Reese Schaefer there, who's got Siegfried with him as well as Ed Shearer back there. And then another kind of 3-car pack with Ardon, Hostler, and McAvoy. So starting to get a little bit of separation here after that first caution of the night. Threw out some different strategies and seeing a lot of different speeds from these drivers out there on the track at the moment. But the man with the most speed, Hostler, has caught Emerson Ardon already and makes the pass for 6th here. So 61 still moving on up. He's not losing any time on our leader, still kind of remaining around 6 seconds.
Yeah, that's 61. He's remained on a throttle a lot. I mean, he has made up several positions. The last time, or when this race went back green, he was 13 spots back. Now up to P7, up 5. I'm sorry, scratch that. I'm on the wrong car. 61. There we go. He's actually right back where he started, where he qualified. So he's gained all those spots back that he lost with that yellow. Now he's just got to try to march his way forward, and I just hope that he hasn't burned his stuff up. In the early going, he was very, very fast on the long run. Now is the time to prove that he can do it again. And Greg, like you said about day 88, loose is fast and on the edge, out of control, to quote old Days of Thunder. There you go.
Well, a great night for Tank Racing. Just going to give them a shout out. 4 cars in the top 7. You got Causey, Berger, Schaefer running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, with Emerson Ardon back there in 7th. So unfortunately a wasted night considering they have a bye this week, but hey, practice is looking good as far as round 2 goes. So whoever goes up against Tank Racing in that team championship gonna have their work cut out for them, as they are looking prime to make a run here in the Cup Series. So coming to lap number 86 this time by P. We're almost to that window. I think we're actually in that window now where we could start seeing final pit stops taking place.
Yeah, final pit stops, and usually that is what gets a little bit of separation. Do you pit before? Do you pit after? Do you wait and see if somebody messes up and brings out another yellow? There's so many varying strategies. One thing's for sure, though, everybody that comes on down pit road is going to go ahead and grab those 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, fill it up, and get back out there. And will be the time of the race to make up or maintain your position on track. Go on out there and get it, elbows up.
Yeah, so going around turns 1 and 2, our leaders trying to figure out the strategy. What is the right strategy? Nobody knows until it finally takes place and you see what actually happens. We saw what happened last time under the first round of green flag stops. That caution came out, which is a lot of guys' nightmare. They do not want to see that because they got trapped a lap down. They had to take that wave around and start further on back in the pack, and that's why we're having to see some guys make a run back up towards the front. One of those guys being the 61 of Lane Hostler. Now he doesn't have any cars nearly even remotely close to him. Siegfried, the next car in front of him, is about 3.5 seconds in front of him, and that's what that gap looks like. So 61 just going to cruise around real quick and maybe just run this thing out. He's got nothing to lose at this point. He might stay out the longest out of all these guys.
Now, Greg, I got to ask you, knowing that the 61 has a great long-run car, once that fuel window opens and you know you can make it to the end, do you come on down betting on what your race has been like so far, or do you wait and see that somebody might come on down, have an issue, caution comes out and makes up that entire gap for you? He's got the machine to race, but does he wait and see if somebody else screws up first?
If I've been burned by it once, I'm not going to get burned by it twice, in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and stay out there as long as I can and hopefully get lucky and get my karma returned there. So I think he stays out as long as he can and just really takes advantage of those fresher tires. We've seen it work out in the past for a lot of the guys at different tracks, and I think we'll possibly see the same strategy work out here this evening. But we are going to have a few takers that do decide to come down fairly early, and I think we're getting to that point to where we might start seeing that happen coming to the stripe. 40 laps to go in this one.
At 40 laps to go, 24 is going to go ahead and try to duck under the 88 to take P2. 88 is going to move on up about a lane and allow the 24 to go on by. Obviously, these two working together on the same team. Now they say, okay, you had a long run car earlier. Let's see if you can go on up there and catch the 5. Or is the 24 now going to feel the ill effects that the 61 caught earlier, just right about this time of the race, before they were able to come on down pit road for those 4 tires and fuel.
Well, the 24 looking pretty quick. He's closing that gap, inching up closer to the back of this 5, looking like they might be faster on separate ends of the track. The 5 gets a little bit of better entry, but man, this 24 gets really good exit on turns and just closed in by 1/10 of a second there alone on the first half of that lap. So he is going to be right to the bumper here coming to the start-finish line. And just like that, we have a crash. We're under yellow.
Yeah, Scott Kalal looks like he might be involved. We saw the 5 come off of the corner. Rear end was trying to step out, able to hold on to it. 24 closed up, all for naught now. Everybody's going to come on down. Everybody should be good to go. We're about to see a great race to the finish.
It's the same thing we saw earlier with the bump right here, and it's exactly that.
Wow. And
it's Josh Siegfried's teammate at that, too. Wild that's happened to 2 Phoenix Virtual Racing cars there. Let's go from the cockpit again, just like we watched with Siegfried here. So you see, obviously, that EOL going to go to Scott Kalal for that cause caution. But there's like some bump right here that's really just upsetting these cars to the point where they just spin out. That's wild.
How aggressive it looks like. It's like they're actually driving off of a curb. But Scott Kalal opened the pit stops earlier. This time opened them up again and unfortunately brought out the yellow. But everybody coming on down pit road for what could be their last set of tires. Top it off, come on out. Lap 93 of 130 as they come across the line. 94, we should go back green at about 96. So 34 laps, give or take, to settle it all. Greg, do you think we go green from here, or is aggression going to rear its ugly head?
No, I think we do go green. And I mean, the only cautions that we've had here tonight have realistically been a botched start at the beginning, which happens, and then 2 times on the exit of pit stops on green flag conditions. There's some bump that's just upsetting these cars. The racing's been fantastic. I think with no pit stops or anything like that, I think we go green the rest of the way. But it is going to be a great finish, as we're going to see some names start cycling up towards the front, one of which is that 61 who's looked fast and will have a long run to finish this thing. And then you also got Ardon back there who's looked fast, Zimmerman who's been running up through the field, as well as your normal guys up front. Seth Berger takes the lead from Timothy Latham, comes out in front on pit road.
I tell you what, I watched that 24 excel off of pit road, and man, that first pit box absolutely helped. He had the 5 of Timothy Latham very, very fast on his outside, but all he had to do was cross the yellow line right in front of his pit box, and he was able to take that spot, move Seth Berger up 1, coming off pit road.
Well, we're going to go ahead and step aside real quick, just like we always do under yellow. This third caution, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. Do not go anywhere.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Silverback Tax Solutions specializes in dealing with IRS tax problems. If you are receiving threatening letters from the IRS, or if the IRS has placed liens or levies on your property, Silverback Tax Solutions can help you find relief. We have worked with hundreds of people to resolve their tax problems. If you're behind on filing your taxes, it's never too late to get on the right track. Silverback Tax Solutions can help with that also. Don't let another night go by where you lose sleep worrying about the IRS or your taxes. Head over to www.silverbacttax.com or call 662-996-4357 and contact an enrolled agent today. We can help you gain peace of mind and deal with those problems for you.
Want to be a part of an established league on iRacing? A league that's competitive, fun, and above all fair? Look no further than Speed Racing Network. Originally known as Mid-South Madness, SRN has evolved into a league that can bring the best out in any given driver. Drivers work their way up through the ranks to hopefully one day call themselves a champion of Speed Racing Network. If you're interested in joining, don't hesitate to reach out to league admins to claim your spot today. Maybe you'll end up in the history books. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor in Speed Racing Network, feel free to head over to www.speedracingnetwork.com and reach out to an admin today. And as always, remember to go faster.
Well, back here on the track here, just completing our third caution of the night. Gonna take this thing back to green flag conditions on lap number 97. Pete's going to be a good run to the finish. We've had a lot of names up in the front of this one, but the one that's been up front the most, it seems, is Seth Berger, who finds himself back in front of this thing.
Yeah, Seth Berger's going to be the control car. He's going to set it off. Last time we seen him do that, he went ahead and took a good old second to a second and a half lead. Timothy Latham, that was leading when the yellow came out, finds himself on that outside line. Reese Schaefer in this 17 Boss Securities car sitting P3. 88, that's also showing a lot of speed. And then that 60. We're seeing some names that we talked about all night long. Green flag's going to come out. 2400 on the throttle. And we got another spin.
Reese Schaefer and Causey, two teammates there.
Wow.
Let's see exactly what happened. This has been a wild night for yellow flags here.
Yeah, that's the second restart where somebody spun them and bogged down a few other guys. Wow. Yeah, 17 spins him, puts the 88 in the outside wall. A few others in the back able to split him, but not everybody was able to avoid him.
Yeah, so let's go right on board with Causey here. Just the outside of the 17. And he just comes right up, doors him, and then Causey does a good job of keeping it going. But everything behind him, catching a lot of cars up in that one. Most notably his teammate, Reese Schaefer, who's going to get the EOL on this one as well.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's very unfortunate. A lot of very fast cars just now getting involved in that. Most notably the 88. No, just a very innocent bystander, right along with a few of the guys in back that either got some fender damage or maybe even some rear end damage as they were trying to get on by and the car wasn't able to come to a complete stop. Interesting restarts. That's twice tonight, Greg.
Yeah, so Reese Schaefer going to come down, get the damage fixed, and get 4 tires and fuel on his number 17 Boss Security Ford Mustang Cobra there, you see. But he's not got too much to worry about. He's got a 59-point advantage over the cut line. Still might not be able to clinch this week if he still finishes back where he is, but I have a feeling they're going to get that 17 all fixed up. We'll see him back in the top 10 not too long from now. So that's a look at the points and what's on the line here. The 17 with the most points there has a pretty big cushion, but still, you can't be ever too comfortable when you're battling in these playoffs, Pete.
Yeah, 11 points up, and it looks like most of the damage to this Boss Securities number 17 Mustang GT is to the right rear. I really don't see anything around the front wheel well or to the hood. It looks like the back wicker is a little bowed out, but looks like most of it is to the right rear. And under this new damage model with these guys, that could be huge on track.
Yeah, so we'll see if he's able. We saw, I mean, Ed Sheeran had pretty big damage to his number 97 Ford Mustang, and it looked pretty good when he got it back out there 15 laps down. So we'll see if Reese is able to get that car all fixed up. I have a feeling that they will get it looking good and back out there in competitive form. But let's go ahead, Pete, check out what we got coming up here in the next couple of weeks. We're going to finish off this first round of 17 drivers. We're going to eliminate 7 of them and take the top 10 in points at Michigan International Speedway. So that is a very fast 2-mile oval that either you love it or you hate it. And I'm kind of on the fence about it. Not my favorite track out there, so I'm sure some other guys will agree. We'll see if they can overcome those challenges. So kicking off the second round is going to be Chicago, pretty fun track. Nashville, a very difficult track. And then finishing off the round of 10 at Kentucky with, there you see it, Pete. We're at that point where that championship race is within view. Homestead just 5 weeks away, where we're going to decide us a champion.
And I'm so glad that Michigan is coming in 2 weeks. That's right. There's no race next week, and I'm kind of glad about that. I will actually be away. I'll be up in New York State camping with my wife and the family, so I won't have to miss a race. I'll be here for every single bit of the action. But yeah, Greg, 5 more weeks, and it's all said and done. We're going to crown a new champion, and another season of SRN will be in the history books.
And I can finally take a vacation, just like you are, Pete, next week. We're not going racing just because of you. It's all your fault.
I'm sure some of these guys after tonight, they're going to need a little bit of a break, work on their restarts, come on back out and get racy at a very, very fast 2-mile oval, and it will be an absolute test in these next gens. I talked about a Michigan race that I broadcasted last night elsewhere, and these things were getting very, very tight a whole lot sooner than what they used to in the Gen 6 cars. A little bit of it, these guys will have to adapt just a little bit.
Yeah, the little diffuser on the bottom here in the rear ends of these cars has really changed the game when it comes to these Cup Series cars. So at a fast 2-mile oval, as I just heard someone take a spin there. I believe it's Justin Smith back here as he's sitting here through turns 1 and 2, facing the wrong direction, but he's going to get it turned around, and we'll get this thing back formed up in the right way. But yeah, 2-mile oval, as fast as that is, you just see a lot of downforce on these cars heading through the turns. So I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot of bottoming out with these Cup cars, and that is going to make things exactly like you said, really, really tight.
Absolutely. So here we go. We're about to get back under green. The lights atop the pace car are out. 24 rocking it back and forth, trying to build up just a little bit. 5 up top. 88 able to stay where he was. Doesn't look like he got too much, but Greg, look at that outside car, row number 2. 61 will be back on a prowl. Pace car makes that a hard left. Let's go.
Yeah, Silverback Tax Solutions, green flag back, waving, and you can tell the 2 tank racing cars right there working together as Causey just completely clears Timothy Latham there. So 2 tank racing cars out in front of this one.
Yeah, tank and tank. 5 is going to stay right there. 61 is able to clear the 33 of Zimmerman rather. So move Lane Hostler back up to P4. Zimmerman's going to fall back. Emerson Ardon right now sitting P6, McAvoy, Little, Whitmore, and then Blair Holloman, guy that we haven't talked about much tonight, sitting in P10.
Yeah, spoke about the Rat Pack guys having not the run they wanted here tonight, so Blair Holloman moving up to 10th position, so good job for him as well as his teammate Zach Deutscher, who's going to overcome some problems as well and currently running in 16th position. So Seth Berger, Joseph Causey, Latham Hostler, and now Devin Zimmerman up in the top 5. They're trying to make this a tank racing party up here, but Latham and Hostler not having any of it. And I just have to imagine the 61 is just counting the laps off right now, knows that there are still 28 laps to go around this mile-and-a-half circuit. And some really tight racing there between Causey and Latham, and that's going to check them up for second. And Hostler is going to make a move to the outside of the 5 here.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the 5 really tried to throw it to the inside, just like the 61's going to do. 88's going to come down a block, slams the door shut. 61 had to check up, forced him to go up track just a little. Nobody to the outside. We're going to stay green. But yeah, move Hostler now up to P3. Move the 5 back to P4, and they still have a gap back to the 33.
Yeah, so turning lap 104 right here, and you can just see the smoothness of the 61 through turns 1 and 2, and the time that he gains on this 88. Just really easing off into 3 a little sooner than those guys. Gets back into the gas a little earlier too, and that's how he's picking up the time. As he gets a little loose on the exit of 4, that's going to kill his momentum down the front straightaway, and those tank guys are going to build a little more time as they head to turn number 1.
You know, passing one car can be somewhat easy if they're not in communication with each other. You got tank racing teammates, 1-2. That 88's going to hold strong. We saw the 61 try to dive it under. 88 came on down, just like he's going to do right there again. Slams the door on that 61, nowhere to go. 5 staying right in tow. 24 continues to lead the way, and he's got to love the fight that his teammates putting up behind him.
Yeah, you got to love Joseph Ghazi right now, to the point where you might need to go buy that man a steak. He is putting on a real show back here defending that second position, because he knows if that 61 gets by him, he can't do any more defending. He's got to hold him back there as long as he can and help count off these laps, which you see that 25 laps to go. It's hashtag go faster time, and that 61 knows just that. Running out of time, as well as maybe tires looking tight now through turns 3 and 4, as now the 5 is right on the bumper of the 61. We'll see if he makes a move heading into turn 1.
You got to wonder if the 61 is actually trying to do that, get the 88 to really, crank that wheel down to block that line and make the 88 use up his right front more and more. And eventually the 61 will be able to get down there. The 88 won't. 61 pulls down. Man, they are making this exciting behind this 24. 5 has got to be very, very nervous about what he's seeing, because if they make contact, it might collect him. Devin Zimmerman's a little way back. He'll have a little bit of a reflex time, but man, these the race right now really for P2.
Yeah, the second place battle is really heating up out here, and I'm really worried that the 61 is burning up his stuff faster than he wants to, and that's probably exactly what Kazi wants. He's really making him work for this pass. Keeps shutting the door on the entry of 3, which makes that car super tight on the exit of 4. And now he's got a whole handful of problems as the 5. Latham gets a good run off of 4. He's going to try and take that 3rd spot back away.
And it looks like he will, unless the 61. Nope, I thought the 61 might try to stay up high and wait for these guys to come up off the corner, get a good draft, and pull his way down. But nope, now move the 61 back to P4. 5 up to P3, and if the 5 can clear a path underneath the 88, 61 may be able to follow. The 61 has shown that he can get by the 5 of Latham a couple times tonight. Then all they got to do is work on that 24, 20 laps remaining.
Got 21 laps to go here at Charlotte, and no telling who's going to come away with this one. These 4 all, you could throw a blanket over them and pick one. Either one could win this race. All 4 of them within 4/10 of our leader, Seth Berger, out in front as they kind of put some distance between that 5th place car of Zimmerman and Ardon back there. McAvoy, Holloman in 7th and 8th, with Jeremy Little and Bobby Anderson rounding out the top 10. But with 20 laps to go, this is your show right here. Seth Berger leads the way.
Yellow flag. Looks like Jordan Sailors may be a person of interest, with Byron McDonald a little bit further in the back.
Well, what do you say we go ahead, cue up one of our Sparkle and Shine mobile detail and record replays, see exactly what we got going on here.
All right, 88 tags the wall, gets down into the 55. 55 goes around. Also, the 8 hard up into the outside wall, just right in the middle of the tri-oval. Tons of damage to those 2. Looks like everybody else was able to get on by unscathed.
Well, this is a really tough break for the 55 of Jordan Sailors, who was having a good run all night long. Did not need that, but a big hit for the 8 of Byron McDonald back there. His night going to be done, as he's got some significant damage on that hot rod. So Jordan Sailor is going to wait for this car to go on by, and he's going to whip that car back around and continue on with his night, although not going to be the run that he wanted here this evening. Actually taking the toe.
Yeah, so not only is he going to have to spend some extra time on pit road to try to get whatever damage he can repaired, but the towing is not immediate. Right now he's got a clock where he's got to wait just a little bit longer. So now, Greg, if you're the 61, you did not want to see this. You've got a long-run car. 24 is shown to have great long-run speed. Now it's going to, if they come off pit road somewhat similar, it's going to be the 24 on the inside, 88 to the outside, the 5 to the inside, and then the 61 will restart right where he did before. Second row back on that outside lane. Who do you got here, bud?
Someone is going to be taking 2 tires here, and if it were me, it would probably be the 61, I would imagine. He's got to do something to get that track position. Looking like Causey is going to be the guy to actually take that and come out in front of this thing. Josh Siegfried opting not to pit, so he's going to be our leader. But Causey coming out first out of those cars that pitted, took the 2-tire strategy here on the 88 and gets out in front of Seth Berger, Latham, and Hostler. That being your top 5.
How about Reese Schaefer regaining up to P number 5 after that restart issue not too long ago? He's gonna have some pretty decent track position after some repairs on pit road.
Yeah, the man with the most decent track position going to be Josh Siegfried, though. He's got the lead after this 5th caution of the night. 18 laps ago. It's going to be a good one. Don't go anywhere. We're going to get it kicked off when we get back. Silverback Tax Solutions specializes in dealing with IRS tax problems. If you are receiving threatening letters from the IRS, or if the IRS has placed liens or levies on your property, Silverback Tax Solutions can help you find relief. We have worked with hundreds of people to resolve their tax problems. If you're behind on filing your taxes, it's never too late to get on the right track. Silverback Tax Solutions can help with that also. Don't let another night go by where you lose sleep worrying about the IRS or your taxes. Head over to www.silverbacttax.com or call 662-996-4357 and contact an enrolled agent today. We can help you gain peace of mind and deal with those problems for you.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Want to be a part of an established league on iRacing? A league that's competitive, fun, and above all fair? Look no further than Speed Racing Network. Originally known as Mid-South Madness, SRN has evolved into a league that can bring the best out in any given driver. Drivers work their way up through the ranks to hopefully one day call themselves a champion of Speed Racing Network. If you're interested in joining, don't hesitate to reach out to league admins to claim your spot today. Maybe you'll end up in the history books. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor in Speed Racing Network, feel free to head over to www.speedracingnetwork.com and reach out to an admin today. And as always, remember to go faster.
Well, back out here, turning our 5th caution of the night. 16 laps to go. We're going to get this thing kicked off with 15 green flags, or green flag laps, all the way to the end of this one, Pete. It's going to be a battle all to the way to the end, but Josh Siegfried, he's got his hands full. Joseph Causey, Seth Berger, Latham, Hostler, and Reese Schaefer all behind him with fresher tires. Going to be tough for the 60.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but I'll tell you what, I think the 24, you're seeing about a car length back for him right now. You got to wonder, the issue about tire spin has been very real for these guys. You got to wonder if the 24 is hoping that the 60 gets a great restart, doesn't spin them. If it does, it might either catch or help the 88, depending on which way he goes. But man, this could be interesting. He's on some 8-lap older tires, if I'm not mistaken.
Siegfried is actually on 14 lap
14, so
older tires. Yeah, so he's got some tires on there. He's got some laps run on that hot rod, but still with the track position. We'll see if he can get it done with 15 laps to go. Gets a good jump on this Silverback Tax Solutions green flag, about 1 or 2 car lengths over Causey, and then he's going to try and bring Latham on behind to separate these two Tank Racing teammates, but going to be tough to do that here.
88 got a little loose, had to wash up track right in front of the 5 of Latham. 24 is going to be able to get on by. 5 is going to pull up right behind the 88. No challenge right there. 24's got a bead on the 60. Can he get up there and pass him? I think he can. Fresher tires most likely will prevail. Latham now P4. Reese Schaefer rebounding P5.
Yeah, if this was 5 or 4 laps to go, I'd feel a little more confident for this 60, but with 14 laps to go, it's going to be really hard to hold off these just really fast hot rods out of Tank Racing. There you see Seth Berger taking the pass to the inside. He's going to go ahead and take the lead if he can complete it on the 60 here, and he does just that as he touches the apron a little bit there. Got a little bit dicey there for a second. Joseph Causey coming on by the 60 as well, bringing Timothy Latham, Reese Schaefer, and Brian McAvoy along with them too. So some new names up front.
Yeah, 60 really tried to keep the 24 pinched to the bottom line to make sure that he wasn't able to get back in the throttle coming off. But as you said, he touched that white line, got a little loose, was able to get back in the throttle. 24 back to the lead where he's been most of the night. 61 of Lane Hostler all the way back in P number 7, did not get the restart that he needed. But when you're going against a team like Tank Racing where everybody's in each other's ear, it's kind of hard to keep pace with them when they can all smash the throttle pedal at the same time.
Well, these guys were 3 wide on the exit of turn 2 back here. Lane Hostler trying to gain some positions here before the end of this one. Up to 5th place here if he can complete the pass on Brian McAvoy. But with 11 laps to go, he's not going to have the time I think it takes to get that 61 back up towards the front where he was running. But still, top 5 would be a great night out of the 61 camp. So right now, Latham, though, trying to move up back towards the front. He's going to try and complete the pass on Joseph Causey here on the outside. Does, in fact, just that. Shuts the door on the 88. Moves that 5 up into P number 2, so we'll see if he can make a run at Seth Berger. He's trying to upset Tank Racing's podium party here, trying to put 3 cars on the podium here tonight with Reese Schaefer now getting up in the mix. He's passing Causey here for 3rd.
Reese Schaefer now moving on up to P number 3, 5 P2. It really didn't look like the 88 cut the 5 any slack whatsoever coming off that corner. I mean, we're talking about the width of a bumper between the 2 cars. Good thing Netco didn't come on up and cause a little havoc of its own. So the 5 now just has to draw a bead on this 24. Looks like he's there. He's had great short run speed as well as long run speed. And so has the 24 when he's been able to lead. And we talked about that clean air all night long. 24's got it in leaps and bounds. What can the 5 do with him?
Yeah, I think Latham, if anything, is just being patient right now, but can't be too patient because he's got a very hungry Reese Schaefer who we keep mentioning week in and week out. Yet to get a win on this season. So that 17 really wants to park that car in victory lane. So we'll see if he can get by the 5 here and make a move up towards the front. But it's going to be a really hard pass to make. Latham wants that W. All of these guys want that W. You're going to be curious to see if Hostler can make a move to the inside of Causey to get back up to 4th maybe. Maybe still come away with a podium in that 61. 8 laps to go, coming to 7. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, now up to P5. He's got to really be smart about his moves. Take the runs when he can. We saw the 88 really defend it, I mean, as much as he could earlier on. 61, nothing doing right now. And Greg, we're right back at that bubble that we've seen all night long. Between 1 and 3/10 first to second, it just does not seem like the guy in P2, no matter how much help he's got behind him, has been able to come on up and have anything for the leader. 6 laps remaining here in the Queen City.
Yeah, 6 laps to go, and we'll see who comes away with it. Brad Herman moving inside the top 10. He's going on. Michael Politis for 9th here on the outside, bringing Jeremy Little with him. So both of these guys moving up towards the front after being maybe a little bit further on back in the back throughout the course of this race, trying to get all the points that they can get, but not wanting to take our eyes off this battle for the lead. Latham is there, knocking on the door. 5 laps to go for the 5 here out of Garrett Motorsports. Can he get it done?
I think Timothy Latham's got a good chance. He just has to get some kind of a run working. But when you're working against teammates, it's very, very hard. Not only are they going to be great on restarts, but they're going to protect each other on the track. 24 is running the preferred line. 5 is going to try to move up, carry a little momentum. Nothing doing, though. He is now all over the back bumper of this 24, so he's been able to get through that bubble. What can he do about the spot? 17's going to get into the bottom a little bit sooner. Cut him a little bit of a break. No contact. 5 stays P2. We stay green.
Yeah, smart move by Schaefer. That would have probably ended his night right there if he continued that move towards the inside of the 5. But if he's not able to get that car down on the line there, he's going to lose that spot to the 17, which I think he might have a bean. No, he's still able to get that car down low, but it's got to be really careful not to get that preferred line to the 17. 3 laps to go. Latham running out of time to get by the 24.
Yeah, Latham looks like he backed up his corner right there and really wrapped the bottom pretty well. He's just got to try to get back up there, carry as much momentum as he can. 24 still going strong behind these guys. The 79 of Brian McAvoy is now all over the back bumper of the 61. So now the 61, not only does he have to try to find a way around the 88 in the closing 2 laps, but he's also got to watch his rear view from the 79. I don't know, man, what do? Do you drive out the rear to protect, or do you still try to get aggressive and pass the 88?
Oh, you're trying to make up as many points as you can get. You're trying to get by that 88, and that's exactly what he's trying to do. He's going to send it into 4, makes contact, into 3, makes contact with the 88, but has the spot as Reese Schaefer makes the pass for 2nd, and Seth Berger coming to the stripe to see the white flag. A lot happening in that last set of turns, but 2 more sets of turns to go for the 24 here, and Seth Berger looking to make it 4 straight wins in a row, which would be some sort of record.
Look at that last lap. The 5 and the 61 both able to progress. The 61 just took 3 spots in the matter of a half a lap. 24, though, he's going to come to the line. He's going to win here at Charlotte. Battle for P2.
Yeah, Latham comes home 2nd, and Hostler rounds out the podium. But, man, Seth Berger, 4 in a row. The All-Star race last week, wins the Cup Series race at Texas, wins the Xfinity Series race at Texas, and then comes here to Charlotte and wins again in the Cup Series. So Xfinity guys might be putting a bounty on this man. He's going to be back here on Thursday racing in the Xfinity Series here at Charlotte. But he's got the W here tonight. He's coming back around to do some donuts once again in that Flood Brothers Recycling number 24.
I'll tell you what, a Chevrolet GT just doesn't sound right. Neither does the Ford Camaro. But either way, man, he's earned the right to put whatever he wants on this Flood Brothers 24. Congratulations one more time, Seth Berger.
Yeah, so your TJ's Team Foundation winning moment, sponsored by TJ's Team at morethanAcape.org. Go ahead, please check them out, just like you checked us out here tonight to watch this man, Seth Berger, win. Go ahead, pass the word on, donate, whatever you can do to help out. It goes a long way. So Seth really starting to pile up that prize money here in the last week or two, and SRN pretty much going to have to put him on payroll with how much he's winning here. Just dominating and really setting up to be the favorite here in the playoffs with the way he's running in that 24.
Absolutely. And just touching one more thing on the TJ's team winning moment. If you go on over to morethancape.org and you are able to give, what you give does not go unappreciated. Travis Anderson actually has a spectrum of items that he will send back to you, whether it's vinyl stickers, t-shirts, hoodies, tumblers, whichever. As a thank you for your donation, he likes to give thanks back. Go ahead and go on over morethancape.org. Give if you can. It all goes to a great cause.
Well, let's go ahead check out the results here for race number 2 in the round of 17 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Seth Berger coming away with the win. We just saw him celebrating down there on the track. Timothy Latham with the last lap pass comes away with second, as well as Hostler making that last lap pass for third. He gets his second podium here in the last couple of weeks. Reese Schaefer and Joseph Causey round out the top 5.
Absolutely. Brian McAvoy was really putting a lot of pressure on that 61. He's able to keep it right there in P6 for Gear Up Motorsports. Devin Zimmerman took a lot of the season off, brings it home P7 in that 33. Michael Politis, my pick, brought it home in 8th. Emerson Ardon, 9th. And Jeremy Little for Phoenix Virtual brings it home P10.
Yeah, Steve Whitmore coming back all relaxed from his vacation, comes home in 11th. Brad Herman in 12th. Zach Deutscher in 13th. John Holliday in 14th. Justin Smith 15th with Blair Howman, Josh Siegfried, Scott Kalal, and then you got Bobby Anderson, Jordan Sailors. They round out your top 20. So great field here tonight. Great racing amongst all our leaders. So let's go ahead and get to the old post-race interview segment. What do you say, Pete? Let's go ahead, try and track down Lane Hostler. Here he is over in his Discord. Bring him up to the booth. Lane, it's Greg Olenek and Pete Rusick up here in the booth. Congrats on another great night here tonight. Coming home P number 3 again, man. I know you had that long run car to win it all here tonight, but a solid run again here in the playoffs. How's it feel heading into Michigan with a lot of cushion between you and that cut line?
Hey guys, thank you. I gotta say, I think this is the first time, and hopefully the only time, you'll ever interview me where I'm disappointed with a third.
I tell you, Lane, it was a lot of fun to watch you carve your way through the field all night long, whether it was losing a couple spots at the very beginning and then charging your way through. It just really seemed like you had that 61 hooked up and you were able to get back in the throttle off the corners sooner than most, and you weren't getting as loose as others. In those closing laps, you were having to fight off one behind you. You had the 88 in front of you, able to dive underneath the 88 and really follow the 5 on through. Did you think with 1 to go you were going to be in the podium, or were you almost willing to settle for that P5? But whatever your answer is, man, congratulations on this third.
Thank you. I saw Tim and Reese get side by side going down the backstretch, and I knew it was going to slow up Joseph just a little bit. I kind of knew I was going to have to take a shot or I wouldn't really get a shot. So luckily we all made it through. It was close.
Well, Lane, looking good here in the playoffs so far, and you and your teammate Steve Whitmore have a good night as well, looking good. Maybe make a run for that team championship with just 2 drivers. We'll see. But before we let you go, you got any friends, any family, any sponsors you want to give a quick shout out to?
I'd like to say it's nice to have Steve back. He was on vacation there for a bit. Give a shout out to my parents. They're watching. My girlfriend's watching from the living room. And I'd like to say thanks to you guys for broadcasting.
Hey, man. Well, we appreciate that. And thanks to you for running with us this season. You've been a great addition to the Speed Racing Network Cup Series. Looking forward to seeing you in victory lane one of these weeks. Keep at it, and we'll see you at Michigan in 2 weeks, bud.
Fingers crossed. Thanks, guys.
All right, Pete, that was P number 3, Lane Hostler, with a great run this evening. Let's go ahead and track down the runner-up here tonight, Timothy Latham, and bring him up into the booth. Timothy, it's Greg Olenek and Pete Rusick up here in the broadcast booth. Congrats on the runner-up here tonight. I know you wanted one more position, but a solid second-place run. How's that feel setting up for the rest of your playoffs here? 4 races to go before we get to that championship race in Homestead?
Yeah, this P2, solid P2, felt great. I was going into tonight just trying to maintain maybe like a top 5 or something like that, just to give me a cushion for next week, so I didn't fall out of the playoffs if I had a bad race. So mission accomplished there. But man, that one caution that came out when I was in the lead, and I knew Seth had the first pit box, and I was like, man, he's gonna get that first spot and never lose it again. And that's pretty much what happened, minus the car staying out on old tires. But had a blast out there tonight. I did that strategy that I said I was going to do last week, and I took it easy the first few laps and started gaining spots after that. And all in all, had a really good race. Like you said, I wish I could have got one more spot, but it was a good race for me.
Timothy Latham, I was able to talk to you just a little bit before the race started. Said, hey, man, what do you think about me picking you? And you said that you weren't too sure how tonight was going to unfold or exactly what kind of speed you were going to have in that 5 Rays Energy machine. You led a few laps very, very fast on both the short run and the long run, able to stay in front of the 24. I did watch you come off pit road and saw the 24. All you had to do was cross that line right in front, but you came out at his door. And it was all said and done, you were able to make up a couple spots in the on that final lap. You brought the 61 through right behind you. P number 2's got to feel pretty good here in the Queen City.
Yeah, especially like I said, I was just trying to maintain a good points position here, and that with 2 laps to go, coming out of 4, I don't know if Reese made a mistake and got a little tight or what happened, but I pulled the crossover on him. I had that wheel crank to the left, and I was going to the bottom to get underneath him, and I'm just glad it stuck. And then Lane behind me, he had a hell of a last lap there, getting by those guys 3 wide. So, yeah, good job to him too. But congrats to Seth, man. He was lights out all night. I got up to him and really never could pass him on track. It really took that one caution to put me out in the lead, but thankful for all that. But, man, had a blast for sure.
Well, before we let you go, Timothy, you got any friends, any family, any sponsors you want to give a quick shout-out to?
Yeah, I just want to thank my team. I know we do a lot of practice throughout the week. Most of the time I'm not there, and I'm just busy, but they really help out a lot with tire information, fuel information, things like that. So thanks to those guys. Thanks to Gear Up Motorsports, Raise Energy, Rep Sports, G-Pop, just everybody that helps put this team together. And of course, thank you guys for putting on the best show every week. It's always a blast watching these broadcasts back.
We appreciate that, man, and we appreciate you being out there as always, racing with us each and every season. Looking forward to seeing what you can do in these last couple of weeks, Timothy, and best of luck. We'll see you at Michigan in 2 weeks.
All right, see you in a few weeks.
All right, well, that was Timothy Latham coming home NP number 2 here this evening. So let's go ahead and get to the man of the hour. Track down Seth Berger. He's probably still celebrating with his teammates down there in the Tank Racing Discord. Bring him up here, Seth. It's Greg Olenek and Pete Rusick up here. We're getting to make this a thing. 4 straight races, 4 straight wins. Congratulations, man. First and foremost, tell me what it's going to take to end this streak. My God, you're being so dominant right now. Another race on Thursday. How's it feel to keep it going?
Oh, it feels amazing, especially considering how I was feeling in the first hour of practice, to be honest. I mean, this one's huge thanks to my Spotter Max service. He completely changed my driving style in the last 20, 30 minutes of this practice, so I got to thank him first. But, it is awesome, man. I told you last week that this track was my most, mid track that I perform at, and I'm thinking I'm a liar now.
Tell you what, Seth, man, most people hate it when anytime a driver really gets on a tear or hits a hot point in their career or in their season, and that is absolutely what you're in. If you keep this up, I mean, the field is on notice 4 in a row. Congratulations. You were able to keep your 24 ahead of the 5 and ahead of the 61 and the 88, most notably throughout the evening. Was there any one person or any 2 cars that you were fearful that might be able to get on up there and try to take this away from you?
I was definitely fearful about the 5 and 88. I mean, they were obviously Causey's always fast, and Latham's definitely fast too, but I think the singular driver, I'd have to be Lane Hostler. That first run where he caught me was pretty terrifying, considering I had clean air the whole time and he caught me like nothing. So I was definitely worried about him. But when I believe he got screwed over in the first cycle green flag pit stops where that caution came out. So that definitely helped us, and I knew track position was going to be king here, especially after that first run. That dirty air is just crazy. It's tough to set anything up, honestly, but saving those tires, managing them, and keep the clean air feels awesome. It feels great. I feel like we're finally showing the pace that we should have had all season. Just bad luck in the season, but finally closing it out now.
Yeah, they're going to start calling you the sandbagger with the way you're coming on strong here lately, kind of setting these boys up and then hitting them hard here. Yeah, they're not going to want to play with you if you keep it up here, Seth, and just keep dominating like you are here. 4 straight races in a row where you are parked in victory lane. So before we let you go, Seth, you got any friends, any family, any sponsors you want to give a quick shout out to?
Shout out to my mom and dad. They're definitely helping support me being able to do this. They let me have my alone time to practice for this today. And my dad does a lot of work in a lot of Burger Nation to show up to these races so we get that viewership up. So gotta thank them. Shout out to Max Service again. He's a huge reason why I was able to win tonight. Completely changed my driving style. Shout out to Berg Arts. You know that one was coming. Berg_Arts on TikTok. New video coming tomorrow. Y'all will like it. Got a cartoon pair of shoes coming out. Also got to thank Tank teammates. They great teamwork again. Like every other week, they're like family over there. Shout out to Burgers and Farms, Boss Security, Kieran Dental, Hunter Don Anesthesia, Park Brothers Racing, Parkway Lanes, Teespring, Healthcare Bill Incorporated, Flood Brothers for sponsoring me. Again, shout out to the entire family losing William Mike Flood. He was the one who started it all. So definitely in our prayers, and shout out to you guys for another great broadcast.
Hey, we appreciate it, man. Appreciate all the people stopping by to cheer you on, and looking forward to seeing what those cartoon-themed shoes look like. So definitely check that out if you're interested in Berg Arts. Thanks again for stopping by, man, and we'll see you Thursday. We'll keep the seat warm for you, see if we can make it 5 in a row.
All right, thank you.
All right, so that was Mr. Domination here lately, Pete. Seth Berger wins, like I said, for the 4th time in as many races. So this guy is on one here lately.
Yeah, pretty soon these guys are going to start calling him Seth Gordon. Man, this 24 absolutely very, very strong. Right where it matters the most. He's hitting his stride. Michigan, a completely different animal. You might see, similar wear. But, man, I can't wait 2 weeks, and I'm glad that I will be back. And I'll be able to be right here with you, Greg.
Yeah, it's not too long ago that we just had our first elimination race, that being the regular season cutoff, which was thrilling with Corey Saucier barely making it in here.
Yep.
Didn't see Saucier out there tonight, so I think his playoff hopes are going to be done here. But still, a lot of hopes on the line. Only 10 of them going to move on when we get out to Michigan in just a few weeks. So next week we're off here in the Cup Series just as well as all the other series here on Speed Racing Network, but we have 2 more races to go this week. Tomorrow night going to be the Truck Series, where we're going to have the same action right back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, but it's going to be a good one. More playoff action to be had here on SRN, so definitely come on by, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that little bell so you know exactly when we go live. Would love to have you back here. Me and Brandon Domain will have that call for you. But that's going to be it for me and Pete here tonight. For everybody else behind the scenes and all of us here at Speed Racing Network, we wish you guys a good night and go faster.